prepare to shudder. I'm Morrigan Dread, and today I'm diving into 4 true stories of cursed pacts gone horribly wrong. From dark rituals to a room where worms turn into money. These tales will chill even the bravest. Press play, subscribe, and join me in the terror. Don't forget to like and share. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications for daily spooky stories. Let's get started. Our first story comes from a listener we'll call Mara, and it's a doozy called The Pact That Ruined Our Family. This one's gonna hit you hard, so hold on tight. Mara's tale takes us back to 2017, in a quiet, dusty town, where her family gathered for a reunion at her great-grandmother's creaky old farmhouse. The air was thick with the smell of home-cooked food and the sound of laughter, but Mara, just a kid, felt a chill when her great-uncle Victor joined them. Victor was the kind of guy who always wanted more. Fancy cars, big houses, the works. He showed up in a sleek black SUV that gleamed unnaturally under the summer sun, and when he took Mara and her cousins for ice cream, she felt a cold knot in her stomach, like the car itself was watching her. The coins he handed them for ice cream felt heavy, almost warm, as if they carried a secret. Mara brushed it off as kid stuff, but that uneasy feeling stuck with her. Fast forward to 2024, and Victor was living large. Gold watches, tailored suits, and a mansion that screamed money. But something was off. His wealth didn't come from hard work. Mara's family started whispering about strange rituals Victor was involved in. Dark ceremonies with flickering candles, writhing snakes, and blood, both animal and chillingly human. They learned Victor had sold his own sister, Mara's Aunt Clara, in one of these pacts. Clara, once a vibrant woman, was now a shadow, drowning in whiskey every day, her life cursed to fail. Mara remembers visiting Clara's rundown apartment, the air heavy with the stench of stale liquor and despair, her aunt's eyes hollow as she clutched a bottle. The family managed to break Clara's specific curse, but the damage was done. She couldn't escape the bottle. Victor's health crumbled soon after. Diagnosed with diabetes, he withered away, his skin grey and sunken, like a man already half dead. By the time he died, he looked like a skeleton. Then, tragedy struck again. Mara's grandmother, Elena, caught the same disease. Her cozy home, once filled with warmth, became a nightmare. Mara recalls visiting and hearing whispers in the night, seeing shadows slither across the walls like snakes, and feeling an icy presence that made her breath catch. Elena wasted away, dying in July 2024, her frail body unrecognizable. The family uncovered the horrifying truth. Victor's pact bound them to a vengeful spirit demanding blood from his descendants every 6 months. The house was plagued by eerie phenomena, hissings, vultos darting in the corners, and a suffocating sense of dread. Mara's terrified for her young cousins, especially a 10-year-old who's already showing signs of illness. She wonders if the curse will ever let them go. Can you believe it? Betraying your own family for wealth. That's next level dark. Have you ever felt a vibe like Mara did with that creepy car? Drop it in the comments and stick around. 3 more stories to blow your mind. Next, we've got a wild story from Lila, from a vibrant coastal city in East Africa. It's called The Price of Instant Gratification, and trust me, it's a roller coaster. Lila shares her friend Sophia's story, told as if Sophia's speaking. 2 years ago, Sophia was a 22-year-old student, scraping by in a bustling capital city, far from her small hometown. Her dad, more interested in his mistress than his family, left Sophia struggling to pay her private college tuition. The stress was crushing, missed exams, late fees, and a tiny apartment shared with her strict great aunt. One night, her glamorous friend dragged her to a high-end nightclub, the kind with pulsing lights and a crowd dripping in wealth. There, Sophia met Paul and Leo, 2 guys in their 30s who seemed to radiate a strange, almost hypnotic charm. Their eyes locked onto Sophia's, and she felt drawn to them, like a moth to a flame. Sophia started dating Paul, who spoiled her with designer bags, dinners at rooftop restaurants, and weekends in luxury hotels. But he was secretive, never letting her visit his home, and every month he vanished for 3 days without explanation. During those nights, Sophia had vivid nightmares, entangled with a grotesque creature in a blood-soaked void, its face sometimes morphing into pools. The dreams left her waking in cold sweats, her heart pounding. Desperate for answers, she snuck into Paul's sprawling mansion one day and found a locked room. Using a hidden key, she opened it to find stacks of cash, strange idols dripping with wax, and a nude photo of herself with Paul's name scrawled in red ink. Her stomach churned. She knew something was deeply wrong. Confronting Paul, she learned the truth. He'd made a pact, sacrificing his brother's life for endless wealth. To keep it, he died every month, his body rotting for 3 days before resurrecting. Sophia was coerced into the ritual, collecting writhing worms from his decaying corpse, which turned into crisp banknotes under moonlight. Her friend, trapped with Leo, had to feed a massive snake that slithered over her body nightly, its cold scales leaving her trembling. Both women live in luxury, penthouse apartments, endless shopping sprees, but they're prisoners, their souls drained, haunted by the entities they serve. Sophia tried to escape, but Paul always finds her, his smile both charming and terrifying. Worms into money, a snake crawling over you every night. This is straight up horror. What would you do if you were Sophia? Comment below, and don't go anywhere. 2 more stories coming up. This one's from Diego, now living in a busy Midwest city. It's called The Cost of Greed, and it's a chilling lesson about messing with the unknown. Diego's story starts decades ago with his grandfather, Mateo, in a poor northern village. Mateo grew up in a shack, barefoot and hungry, fetching water from a distant well under a scorching sun. One day, he stumbled across a weathered wooden box half buried in the dirt. Inside were carved statues with eerie, hollow eyes, a glowing gold coin that seemed to pulse with light, and a leather-bound book wrapped in rough, almost skin-like fabric. The book was filled with spells, cures for ailments, love charms, and one that caught Mateo's eye. A ritual for wealth and knowledge. Desperate to escape poverty, he performed it, striking a deal with a sinister entity named Paimon, its name whispered in his dreams. Mateo's life transformed. He became a respected figure, consulted by villagers for his uncanny wisdom. His home, once a crumbling hut, was now a sturdy house with polished floors. But Paimon demanded a price, the soul of Mateo's child or grandchild. When his grandson, Diego, was born, Mateo's heart softened, and he couldn't follow through. He fled to a church, clutching a rosary, thinking faith would save him. It didn't. His wealth vanished, his health deteriorated, and he died in a hospital bed, frail and penniless, his eyes haunted by regret. The curse didn't die with him. Diego, at 9, started seeing shadowy figures in his bedroom, hearing guttural voices that echoed in his skull. By 12, the torment was unbearable. Whispers taunting him at school, faces in the dark. In May 2002, he overdosed on his mother's pills, desperate for peace. During a 5-minute near-death experience, he saw his grandfather in a misty, grey void, guiding him back to life. It only fueled Diego's rage. Why should he suffer for Mateo's greed? Now 35, Diego lives with constant visions, guided by a mentor who taught him to manage the curse. But he questions why God lets an entire bloodline pay for one man's mistake. Diego's story is heartbreaking, right? Why do innocents pay for someone else's deal? Share this video with a friend who loves deep, spooky tales, and let's keep going. One more to go. Our final story is from Theo, set in a remote farm in the 1940s. It's called The Pact of the Rain, and and it's a wild reminder to never cheat the supernatural. Theo's great-grandfather, Samuel, lived on a sprawling farm with 16 family members, all dependent on their corn crops and livestock. In 1948, a brutal drought turned their fields to dust, the ground cracking like old leather. Animals grew skeletal, and the family's water barrels ran dry. Samuel, a man of old beliefs, made a desperate pact, promising a drop of blood for rain. That night, a soft, sweet rain fell, soaking the parched earth. The family rejoiced, filling troughs for the animals, watching the corn stalks perk up under the moonlight. Samuel's smile was wide, but his relief was short-lived. He didn't pay the blood he owed. At 10:30 p.m., as the family slept in their creaky wooden house, a single knock echoed, followed by silence, then another. The air turned thick with a stench like rotting meat and stagnant water. Theo's grandfather, then 13, peeked through a crack in the door and saw something moving. Long, twisted shadows that didn't match any human form. Samuel, pale and clutching a kitchen knife, placed it on the floor, blade outward, muttering prayers to banish whatever was outside. The thing growled, "I want it," its voice low and guttural. Suddenly, hoofbeats thundered outside, and Samuel's brother-in-law appeared, fresh from a trip to town. The family breathed a sigh of relief, thinking the danger had passed. But at midnight, a storm unlike any other hit. Rain lashed the house like a whip, the wind howling as if alive. The roof groaned, shingles flying into the night. By morning, the cornfields were flattened, and the animals, pigs, chickens, even the old mule, lay dead, their bodies bloated and purple, reeking of decay. Theo's great-grandmother, a devout woman, declared the land cursed. They sold everything and fled to a southern town, where Samuel turned to spiritual centers, haunted by his mistake. Why didn't Samuel just pay the blood? One tiny cut, and maybe they'd have been fine. Got a spooky story like this? Send it to the email in the description. I need more. Holy smokes, what a lineup. From bloodline curses to rotting bodies and killer storms, these pacts prove you don't mess with the supernatural. Which one freaked you out the most? Tell me in the comments, and let's get chatting. If you love these stories, hit that like button, share with your spooky squad, and subscribe with notifications on for new tales. Got a creepy experience? Send it to the email in the description. I might read it next. Thanks for watching. On the end screen, I suggest 2 more terrifying videos to keep your horror experience going. See you there.